President Trump said...
What now? What did he say?
President Trump said the United States invented everything.
I can't. He's so egotistical. He's so unhinged.
Oh my God, my stomach hurts.
How many of you can actually relate to this? Because I definitely can. I don't know how many times I've actually scrolled on my phone and then suddenly turn to my wife and say, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what the orange guy said now." And her reaction is pretty much the same as this couple. Just another day in 2025, I guess. Now, I don't really have a specific agenda for today's video, but earlier I was out for coffee with a friend, and he asked me if I thought the boycott was actually making a difference. He doesn't know I run Guard the Leave, so I didn't say very much to him. All I told him was, I'm pretty sure it's hurting the US economy. That got me a bit curious. So I started searching for videos from Americans themselves and what they're saying about the state of their own country. So today, I'm going to share a few of those with you. Before I start, I want to give a quick thank you to our newest channel members. The member count has been growing every single day, and I genuinely appreciate each of our members for supporting the work that I do. I think I'm finally at the tail end of this cold, but still feeling a bit congested, so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. Alright, let's get into the videos.
Well, folks, here's the truth. Donald Trump's policies didn't just close our borders, they wrecked our economy. Tourism to the United States is down 61%. That means empty hotels, shuttered restaurants, and millions of jobs lost in cities like Las Vegas, New York, Miami, and right here at home. Why? Because Trump made America unwelcoming. His trade wars, his anti-immigration rhetoric, his fear-based policies drove tourists and businesses away. While Europe and Asia recovered, we fell behind. I'm running for Congress to change that, to open our doors, rebuild our reputation, and bring jobs back to the communities.
Okay, I wanted to start off with this guy's video. He talks about wanting to run for Congress because he's tired of waiting for the change and wants to step up and actually be that change himself. And I really respect that. He's not just sitting around on the sidelines, he's ready to do something about it. I really wish the current Democratic leadership had that same kind of drive, especially since they're already in the office. Now I get it, I'm not a US citizen, so my opinion really doesn't carry weight. I'm just watching from the outside like many of us. But still, it's refreshing to hear someone who isn't just complaining, but is actually stepping up to do something about it.
That depend on tourism. We're going to replace fear with opportunity and isolation with leadership. America should be a place the world wants to visit, not avoid. And under Democratic leadership, it will be again. Let's bring the world and their dollars back to America. Let's get to work. My name is Doug Kuhn, and I'm a Democrat congressional candidate in California's 3rd District. Please share this video, follow me, and donate to my congressional campaign.
I really wish him the best, and I do hope he gets elected, because we need more people willing to step up and actually make a change. Now this next guy, he's also from the US, and he actually understands what Canadians have contributed to his country. Let's listen and see how he explains it.
And the Canadian people, your boycott on tourism in the United States, explained right now. Canada and the Canadian people, let's do some hard numbers. Last year, 2024, you brought in $20 billion in money to the United States with your tourism, okay? And purchasings of stuff around the tourist industry. That's a lot. Whether you're talking about going into different national parks, you're talking about going to Disney World, anything. $20 billion last year, okay? What does that look like in the practicality? That was 140,000 jobs that were created to support you guys coming into the continental United States. What does that look like as far as we had 20 million Canadians coming into the United States. Now, I've been posting about Canada and the outcome of the boycott, and I've had hundreds of people commenting about how they're traveling to other countries to spite the boycott and make sure they didn't spend their money in the United States. Canada, please comment, repost this, follow me for more, and I want to hear what you guys have to say.
First off, I think it's more than 140,000 jobs that Canadians and international tourists supported. If I remember correctly, that number is actually in the millions. But he's absolutely right about one thing. We travel elsewhere now, whether it's Europe, Asia, or just staying home and exploring Canada. That's a lot of money that the US is missing out on right now. If you saw my earlier video labeled Canadian tourists are spending elsewhere now, you'll remember the comments from the viewers who say they were redirecting their trips away from the US. And these weren't small vacations either. Some were $3,000 trips, others were $20,000, and a few even hit $100,000 trips. And that's just a small sample from my comment section. Now think about the rest of Canada. Think about Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and everyone else joining the boycott. That number is going to add up really fast. If you haven't checked out that video yet, take a look at it in my video section on my channel. Now let's take a look at that message from another US content creator. Let's hear what she has to say.
36% of Canadians who had planned a trip to the USA have already canceled their trip. This is making their bookings down by 70%.
Now, I'm not sure where she got the 70% number from. If you followed this channel for a while, you already know I don't like relying on percentages. US media will throw out something like 20 to 30%. Canadian media, they might say 30 to 40%. Then you get MAGA, who says we don't care at all. But I've never heard any booking say 70% down anywhere. But if that number's true, then great, I'm glad. But if overall travel into the country is only down, say, 30 to 43% at most, how are bookings somehow down 70%? Doesn't really add up. Or maybe it's just my brain fog because of this cold I have.
Let me tell you how much just Canadians alone spend in the US in 2024. Look at this number. This is just one group of citizens boycotting their trips to the USA because of Trump. This is an ongoing number. It is only July 25th. It has gotten progressively worse every single month. Did you know that tourism is expected to lose approximately $29 billion just for the year 2025? A lot of tourists are citing, quote, "They will not come here until he is out of office," end quote. That could be a devastating, catastrophic loss for the next 3.5 years. Did you know that we are being boycotted by every country in the world? Drop your comments and questions below.
Now don't forget, back in March, April, and May, US media kept telling everyone not to worry. They said that was just a phase, and the summer season would just bounce back to normal. Well, we're almost into August now, and there's no signs of that happening. Let me bring up this guy's clip from back in May.
And Mosshart is also a longtime Kennebunk business owner. He runs F8 Photography Studio just down the road on Spring Street. He says he has lots of clients that are Canadian, and he's heard from plenty that they will continue to come.
It's just kind of a little bit, there's a hype out there, but I don't think it's going to really matter.
Just a hype out there. That's what Brad at F8 Gallery in Maine said about the drop in tourism. Am I the only one that's pissed off when I hear that? It completely dismisses what's happening right now. I really wonder how he's doing today, because that report came from May 25th, I think. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way about Brad's take on this. Now, this next video is from a well-known TikTok creator in the US, and he's giving a much more honest look at what's going on in terms of the actual flights being canceled to the US.
Donald Trump for causing the Canadians to boycott travel to the United States. How do I know they're going to be boycotting the travel of the United States? Well, let's look what Air Canada in the Financial Times said. Air Canada is to reduce their capacity to the United States as demand has shifted among the threat of the Trump tariffs. Listen to that again. Air Canada is now shifting the number of flights they're flying into the United States because of a shift in demand by Canadians. They're not coming. They're not going to come. And so Air Canada is redeploying its aircraft to fly to other cities and other locations around the world that they want to go to. They don't want to go to the United States. If you look at my post on my TikTok, you'll see that they're saying that one after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands. Actually, I had about 11,000 people commented yesterday on it, and they're not coming to the United States. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Now, I want to debunk a myth that the MAGA supporters or 51st state cheerleaders used to flood my comments with in the early days. Not so much anymore. But I used to get Maple MAGA saying things like, "Oh, my flight to the US was full. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just creating propaganda." What they don't realize is that Air Canada might have had 4 flights a day to go to places like Chicago, Miami, New York. But now, they might only have 1 or 2, because the demand just isn't there. And sure, those 2 flights might be full, but you're still looking at a 50 or even a 75% drop in passengers for the day. And when they can't even fill that, that's when you see routes canceled altogether. I think it's common sense for most of us, but I had to put it out there anyways. So I guess the goal for this video really came from the question that my friend asked me over coffee. He asked, do you really think the Canadian boycott on the US is making a difference? And based off the clips we just watched from the US citizens themselves, I think it's pretty clear. Yes, it is. But I would like to say a strong majority, including myself, are holding in line. And we're standing up for what's morally right for our country. So yes, to answer my friend's question, we are making a difference. Think about it this way. This was supposed to be the peak summer season for the US. Kids are off school, families should be heading to Disneyland, Universal Studios, and any other big US attraction. But they're not. Now, to be fair, some Canadians who are still going south right now, they may have actually booked their trips well before the US election last year. Some may not have been able to cancel, or it might have been too much of a financial hit to back out. Which brings me to the bigger question. What happens after the summer season ends? What happens to Florida, Arizona, and Palm Springs when the Canadian snowbirds don't come back? I'm waiting for the day Ron DeSantis finally admits his tourism industry in Florida is in shambles. There's already early reports that Florida's real estate market is on the verge of collapsing. So only time will tell. But my gut is telling me the US is in for a rough ride for the rest of Donald's term. If you found this video helpful, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps get the message out to more people. If you're still here, check out the other videos showing up on your screen right now. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.